One of the questions I was scared to ask when I was just getting into cycling was, how do I clean and lube my bike chain or drivetrain? I felt like I knew how to do it, but I wasn't sure, and asking somebody might be making a fool of myself. So if you're new to cycling and looking to get into it, stick around. I'll show you a quick way to clean and lube your chain, keep your bike running smooth. If you've been through all this for a while and feel like you've got an idea of what you're doing, still stick around, you might pick up on something new. That being said, it's not really rocket science. Looping a chain is fairly simple. If you ask 10 different people, you may get 5 different answers or more, but the main idea is going to be essentially the same. So you lube your chain, clean your drivetrain to make sure it's more efficient, make sure it shifts better, and make sure your bike is quieter and looks clean. The quieter part tends to be what a lot of road cyclists at least care about the most. So that can be important, but you're also potentially going to save 5 watts by doing it. So what do you need to clean your drivetrain? Well, what I'm going to teach you is a quick hack for just cleaning your bike after every time you ride it. That may sound like overkill, but it's not a bad idea, especially considering that these drivetrain parts are going to be the parts that wear the most. If you keep them clean, they're going to last a little bit longer. And in this sport, we can all afford to have our equipment last a little bit longer. So for the actual cleaning, I use tub of towels. Any industrial wipe will work. I'm not sponsored by them. I just really like them. They're pretty tough. They hold up when cleaning the chain. If you haven't tried them, I really like them. I use Rock and Roll Gold Lube because you can use it on a road bike and a mountain bike. It's got an oil and a wax blend, so that it'll help clean the chain, and then it'll just place a layer over it that almost acts like a wax chain. Not quite as efficient, but a lot easier to do if you're dealing with it daily. And then what I do is I tell my wife I need undershirts for dressing up. I don't dress up, so instead I just take those undershirts and use them for the final cleaning of the chain and of the drivetrain. So first step is going to be cleaning that grime off of the chain. I just got back from a Saturday morning ride, so there's going to be a little bit of buildup on here, not a lot, but you'll still be able to see there's a lot of residue that comes off. So what I will do is I will hold the chain from the lower section. I'll hold the chain and I'll put a little bit of pressure up, pressing it against the chain ring. That'll prevent the chain from falling off side to side. Sometimes if you put too much side to side pressure, the chain will slip off. You might scratch a chain ring or nick the frame. So pushing a little bit of pressure up, I'll squeeze the chain side to side, and then I'll rotate the cranks backwards. First holding it side to side, I'll make it through a couple rotations, and you can see even after one ride, you get a lot of buildup there. I'll do the same thing, but hold top to bottom and rotate through a couple times. Next, I'm going to clean the chainring teeth. You can see there's a little bit of buildup on the chainring teeth as well. Same thing, I'll use the tub towel, kind of grab on both sides of these teeth and back pedal. It's sometimes easier if you drop the chain into the little ring to clean the big one, and vice versa. Finally, the pulley wheels can get some buildup as well. A lot of people forget to clean this section of the drivetrain. You can kind of reach your fingers through the chain, grab the teeth of this pulley wheel. Same thing up here. Get a little bit more of the gunk. I'm holding my pointer finger on the back of it to clean both sides of that. And then I'll reach here to clean that last one. Finally, we're going to take a look at the cassette. I'm going to throw the bike into the highest gear, and then what you can do with any kind of wipe is fold it over, and you can kind of stick the wipe between each cog and back pedal. Rotate through the freewheel. You can also wipe off the face of each cog. You'll get more buildup in the gears you've used. Because I live in Virginia Beach, there's not much happening on these larger cogs, but the smaller ones will get some buildup. Now that we've got the chain and drivetrain all cleaned off, you can kind of run your finger over it, see if you pick up any residue. Not much at all. We're ready to apply the lube to it. So we're gonna get our rock and roll lube. If you have rock and roll, that means you're gonna have some oil and wax there, so you're gonna wanna shake it up first. And then what I will do is I'll always find the quick link on my chain. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of a gap here. That would be how you would take the chain off to do other service. We can talk about that in a later video. But once I've found that quick link, I'll be able to find a starting and ending point for applying lube to the chain. So some people take a lot of time applying oil to each roller. I think you can kind of move a bit quicker than that. I'm still getting plenty of lube on each roller. And I'm gonna do this until I've hit every roller on this chain. I'll know when I've finished hitting every roller when I get back to that quick link. And here's that quick link, so I know I've made it through every roller. Now, I think this is where a lot of people mess up in thinking they're done, but having excess lube on there is actually just going to collect a lot more dirt and grime. So I'm gonna do the same process as I did when I was cleaning it. And I'm gonna try to wipe as much of this lube off as I can. It may sound counterproductive, but you're still gonna get that protective layer without that excess lube. And it'll actually keep your chain cleaner. You cannot wipe too much of the lube off. So take your time, make sure you get any extra lube off of it. Once I'm done with that, I'll do a quick run through the gears, make sure my derailleur is indexed. And then we are good to go. And that's pretty much it. One thing to note, if you're using rock and roll lube, it takes time for that lube to settle. So if you want maximum efficiency with that drivetrain, it's better to do this process right after a ride rather than right before one. You're not gonna hurt anything putting lube on right before a ride, but again, if the goal is maximum efficiency, get in the habit of doing this right after a ride. Now, if you found this video riveting, good for you. More likely, if you found anything helpful in the video, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. And if you feel like there's anything different you've tried that's worked, feel free to let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching.